Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for November 5th, 2024. We're going to pause for just a moment, waiting for one more commissioner to show up so we have a complete crowd. In England, this is Guy Fawkes Day. In America, it's presidential election day. In Tyler, it's planning and zoning day.
That's right.
The Planning and Zoning Commission makes recommendations to the City Council, and any item approved today will be heard by the City Council at its regular meeting on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024, commencing at 9 a.m. If you received a notice for this meeting, you also have received a notice for the City Council meeting. If any item is denied, the applicant has 10 calendar days to file a written appeal with the Planning Department. The appeal will then be acted upon by the City Council. If you're here to speak for or against an item, please state your name and address for the record. Comments should be limited to 5 minutes or less, although extensions of time may be granted by the chair upon request. At the conclusion of this meeting, we will have a workshop, as we usually do, to plan for next month's meeting, and that meeting, as all of our meetings, are open to the public, and it will be held at the Tyler Development Center across the street at 423 West Ferguson in the large conference room. Our first order of business is to call the roll.
Yes, sir. David Hudson.
Here.
Carlene Darkbays.
Here.
Clint Childs.
Here.
Philip Humfer.
Here.
Christina Davis.
Here.
Michael Carmichael.
Here.
Roy Martinez.
Here.
We have a full commission today. The next order of business is consideration of minutes from the October 1st meeting. Commissioners have an opportunity to review those. Any changes, corrections?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the minutes. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the minutes. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? First item on minutes are approved. First item on our agenda is Z24-033, Garrett Newman. Or is it Newman Garrett?
Good afternoon, Commissioners. This is a zone change request from R1A to R1B. The applicant is requesting the zone change to develop the properties with single-family homes. The adjacent property to the east is zone R1A, single-family residential district, and is undeveloped. The adjacent property to the south is zone M1, light industrial district, and is developed with a storage unit facility. The adjacent property to the west is zone R1B, single-family residential district, and is developed with a single-family home. The Tyler First Future Land Use Guide identifies this property as mixed-use center. This request would amend the Future Land Use Guide to single-family, medium, low density. As you can see, tracks 174C and 174A of the subject properties are currently undeveloped. Under the current R1A zoning, the subject property would not meet the required minimum lot size of 9,000 square feet. The zone change will allow for a minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet. The applicant is requesting the zone change to develop the property with single-family homes. The applicant is also aware that no building permits or certificate of occupancy will be issued for any parcel or tract of land inside the city limits until such property has received a final plat approval and is in substantial conformity with subdivision and zoning regulations. This request would be in the applicant's best interest to rezone the property so that the properties can be platted for future development. Of the 15 notices mailed, no notices were returned in favor of the request, and one was returned in opposition to the request with a total protest calculation of 28.80%. The opposition had concerns that rezoning the property would interfere with the future sale of 4 acres in the area. As the written protest exceeds 20%, a favorable vote by a 3/4 majority of City Council will be required to approve this request. Staff has performed a technical review of the request and finds that the request is generally consistent with the approval criteria. Staff recommends approval of the request.
Thank you. Any questions for city staff? All right, the only name I have for somebody who signed up to speak is Shirley Dunn Logan. Is Ms. Logan here? Would you like to speak to the commission? Ms. Logan, if you'd just state your name and address for the record, please.
Shirley Dunn Logan. Okay, I am. I'm here to speak on the location of Garrett Newman. The location is located as part of a Clayton community where my family reside, and my parents own 15 acres and paid taxes for over almost 80 years as a single family, and we sold homes to these families that own that property as single family homes, and I still have 9 acres to sell on the R1A, single family home. And the lot that we sold to our neighbors were R1A, and we're the only one that's on that one side of that road. No other person live over there, or own property over there. And I am against the zone change because this will entangle with my 4 acres that I have to sell in that area where they have built on their property. When they bought their property, they know their property was R1A. And they changed it. And we still have neighbors' homes down there also in that area. And I still like to have that community to be reside as, because we have our only church down there that we come and visit for homecoming. We come to see, and it's as a one family home, not no 2 homes on a lot. And it's and I don't agree.
All right,
Thank you.
Ms. Logan, any questions from Ms. Logan? Thank you for your time and presence here. Are there others who wish to speak on this item? Kyle, just, besides lot size, what other differences are there between R1A and R1B? Just the lot size?
It's the lot size, but also the side yard setback is a little bit smaller, from 7.5 under R1A to 6 feet, 7.5 feet to 6 feet.
Okay.
So the homes can be a little bit closer, it's kind of what you see right there to the west. Those properties were rezoned to R1B in the past couple of years or so, and those homes were built under that standard.
Okay. Any other questions for city staff?
You had somebody else that raised their hand out there.
Yes, sir. If you'd like to come to the microphone.
I was just going to say that I'm
Would you state your name and address for the record?
Yes, sir. Garrett Newman, 11821 County Road 283, White House, Texas. I was just letting you know that I'm the owner. If y'all have any questions on it, happy to answer anything.
Any questions for Mr. Newman? All right, thank you, sir. Are there others here who'd like to speak on this item? And Kyle, just to help me refresh my memory, you have a zoning map that you can put on the screen. So as you've already mentioned, the lots immediately, I guess that's to the west, are already R1B.
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me when we did that?
Was it probably 2021 or 22? Which year? 22? 22.
22.
And the size of these lots will not fit an R1 house, is that correct?
An
Or
R1A.
an R1A, yeah.
Yeah, they would need to be platted to be developed, and that's one of the issues.
Art, are there others here who'd like to speak on this item? Any questions, more questions for city staff?
So I do clarification on is the concern that it would be a multifamily build? Or is the concern that the smaller home size brings down property value?
I'm not clear on that, but what this would not, to clarify, this would not allow for multifamily. It would still be one home per lot. So it's pretty much what you already see to the west.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, the city staff's recommendation is to approve. Is there a motion?
I'll move to approve Z24-033.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this zoning change from R1A to R1B. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That zoning item is approved. And the next one is Z24-034, also on the Callaway Road.
Yes, sir. This is more of the same situation. The applicant is requesting the zone change to develop the property with a single-family home. The adjacent property to the east is zoned R1A and is undeveloped. The property to the south is zoned M1, Light Industrial District. That is the storage facility. The adjacent property to the west is zone R1A, single-family residential district, and is developed with a single-family home. The future land use guide identifies this property as mixed-use center. This request would amend the future land use guide to single-family, medium, low density. The subject property, which is roughly estimated at 8,200 square feet, was subdivided by meets and bounds years ago and is currently undeveloped. Like tracts 174C and 174A, under the current R1A zoning, the subject property would not meet the minimum lot size requirement of 9,000 square feet. The zone change will allow for the minimum lot size of 6,000 square feet. The applicant is aware that no building permits or certificate of occupancies can be issued for any parcel or tract of land inside of the city limits until such property has received final plat approval and is in substantial conformity with subdivision and zoning regulations. The 15 notices mailed. No notices were returned in favor of the request, and one was returned. The opposition, which we've just heard from, had concerns that about the rezoning. As the written protest exceeds 20%, a favorable vote by 3/4 majority of the City Council will be required to approve this request. Staff has performed a technical review of the request and finds that it is generally consistent with the approval criteria, and staff recommends approval of the request.
Thank you. Any questions for city staff?
As far as we know, have these lots been this size for a long time, or have they recently been? So they're the same, so we really, it can't be built on the way it is. It has to be a different zoning for it, or
Yes,
for
sir.
it to be able to, yeah, gotcha.
Ms. Logan, did you want to comment on this item as well?
It's the same,
Same issues.
same.
All right. Thank you. Any questions from Ms. Logan? All right, Mr. Newman, do you have any comments? Are there any other persons here who, I'm sorry?
I said, they haven't said anything to me.
Okay. Any other person here who'd like to speak on this item? If not, the staff recommendation is to approve. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve Z24-034.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this zoning change. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The zoning item is approved. Next, is C24-008, the gardens to unimproved alley right-of-ways. Caleb?
Yes, these next two, very similar to the first two, are also very closely tied hand in hand with each other. This first request is for a closure of two alley rights-of-way located just down the street here in between West Ferguson and West Irwin. That's a property right there. The alleys are bounded by this kind of subject tract that they're proposing to redevelop. West Ferguson to the north and West Irwin to the south. You can see that there's one alley that runs north-south there connecting the two, and then one that runs east-west kind of behind those existing buildings there. That one running east-west has no paving or anything associated with it. The one running north-south does, although it's not really clear maybe when that was done, when that paving was put in. So they're requesting this closure in order to replat into the surrounding properties. As I said, the applicant owns a majority of the properties there, really with the exception of the auto repair shop that's there to the south. The applicant owns all the rest of the surrounding properties. For a part of their future development, their future multifamily development that's there, which is the next zoning item. Of the 10 notices, staff has performed a technical review and finds that it's generally consistent with approval criteria. We did speak, the police station is right there to the north. We did speak with the chief of police, who stated that there wouldn't be any foreseeable problems with the closure of that alley. That any cars that currently use it can go down the street, and any police vehicles, they can make a U-turn further down. They don't need to use this access. So staff has performed that technical review, finds that it's consistent with the approval criteria, and staff recommends approval of the closure of the right-of-way, the rights-of-way, subject to the right-of-way being replatted within 6 months.
All right, Caleb, thank you. Any questions for city staff? If not, yes.
Question. Was West Irwin Auto Repair notified of this? And
Yes.
so there was no protest there?
Correct.
Okay,
We
great.
did not receive, I didn't mention that, of the 10 notices that were mailed out, 1 was returned in favor, and then none were returned in opposition.
Any other questions for city staff? If not, are there persons here who'd like to comment on this zoning or this alley closure? If not, the staff recommendation is to approve. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve C24-008.
Second?
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this alley closure. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The alley's closed, subject to replatting. The next one is PD 24-0224, the gardens at West Oak.
Yes, so this is for the zoning case immediately around that closure. The applicant is requesting this zone change from DBAC, Downtown Business Arts and Culture District, and M1 Light Industrial District to PMXD2, which is Planned Mixed Use District 2. The applicant is requesting that zone change in order to develop the property with multifamily housing and apartment units there. This is the area that they're proposing to rezone here. As you can see, properties to the north, a lot of the properties surrounding it are either zones DBAC or M1. They're generally developed with some retail, industrial uses. The police station is there. As I mentioned, that property that kind of is in the little nook that's not included in this is an auto body repair shop. And then immediately to the east there is the apartment unit that's right across the street. The request is consistent with the property, with the future land use guide, which identifies this as high-density mixed use. It's the property there, so we just kind of saw in the last one. This is the proposed site plan. The applicant is proposing to develop apartment units, 204 units with a density of approximately 46 units per acre. The site plan proposes 6 residential buildings with a maximum height of 165 feet. The building setbacks, landscaping, signage, and parking requirements are all to be consistent with the UDC standards for similar to if the property was zoned DBAC. The use and other standards are consistent with what's permissible in DBAC as well. The proposed development will help to achieve a number of goals found in the downtown chapter of the Tyler First Comprehensive Plan, including creating a full-service mixed-use destination downtown that functions as the center of the region and creating new urban residential districts with infill development. So as I said, this is the kind of site plan here. A little more spread out maybe than the apartment units directly to the east, with a pickleball court and pool that's there, if that interests you at all, if you're looking for a new place closer to your meetings here. Of the 20 notices that were mailed out, no notices were returned in favor or in opposition to the request. Staff has performed a technical review and finds that it is consistent with the approval criteria, and staff recommends approval of the zone change.
Thank you, Caleb. Any questions for city staff?
What story, how many stories?
3 stories.
3 stories.
Okay. So the 170 feet isn't.
No, right.
Any questions for city staff? Mr. Hersey, comments?
Sure. William Hersey, 802 West Ferguson, part of that zoning change right there. Appreciate you guys taking a look at it. We're excited. Looks like we're going to hopefully, if this gets approved, start in March. We're excited to bring a lot of more warm bodies to the downtown area. I think that that's going to be very good for us to continue on the development of the area and be able to bring in some larger retails to downtown as well. So happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Any questions from Mr. Percy? If not, thanks for your time and presence. Are there others here who would like to speak on this item, for or against? If not, the staff recommendation is to approve. Is there a motion?
Mr. Chair, I'll move to approve item PD 24-024.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve this zoning change. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item's approved. Commission, in 26 minutes,
Pretty quick.
stands in recess to go to our workshop session.